story or a story about his life and deliver it within a 5 to 7 minute speech. His personal objectives is to use vocal variety, descriptive language, and to engage his audience. A couple of other things that I'm going to be looking for is your clarity, your comfort level on stage, vocal variety, how you engage the audience, eye contact, interest, and gestures. I asked Thomas, with the holidays coming up, what is he looking forward to the most? It's an interesting response. He said he's looking forward to sipping a nice bottle of rum he had picked up on his trip to the Bahamas, to the Bahamas, and sitting by the fireplace with his wife, hopefully sharing that rum.
The exact plan.
Welcome to the stage, Thomas, with his speech, The Abyss. Thomas, The Abyss.
Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. When I was considering the theme of today, I concluded we all had a common frenemy. This may surprise you. His name is fear. All right? Because there's a friendly type of fear. See, the friendly fears keep us from doing things or saying things or eating things that we know are bad for us, right? The enemy fear keeps us captive to the things that we know absolutely nothing about. We call this the fear of the unknown. And I recently had to face that sinister foe right in his beady little eyes and say, hey, I'm busting out of the joint. I'm busting out of the joint. I don't want to be a captain to you anymore. All it took was a flight to the Caribbean, 2 pina coladas, and a friendly reminder from my loving wife. And I was able to unhinge the barred doors off of that cell, walk out and claim my freedom. How did you do that? Well, back in August, my wife and I decided we are going to take our Labor Day vacation to Atlantis. Anyone here been to Atlantis? Oh, you gotta go. It's a sprawling tropical oasis, teeming with all sorts of aquatic wildlife. There's gourmet food everywhere you go, and relaxing vibes in every nook and cranny of this place. But I forgot to mention one thing.
There's a 141-acre water park with thrilling rides named ominously, like the Leap of Faith, the Drop, the Surge, the Snake, and the Abyss.
After gathering that piece of information, I was hesitant to click the book now button. See, my thrill seeker wife is experienced with my disdain for what I call stressful vacation activities. All right, our honeymoon, traversing steep terrain in Jamaica on horseback, swimming through a cave in Mexico, ziplining, helicopter rides, and now, water slides? I convinced her I was not going to let my irrational fears keep us from enjoying 1 minute of this vacation, and I had almost convinced myself. Until our first day at the resort. I wake up from a nice restful night of sleep, draw open the curtains, take in this warm glow of Caribbean sunlight that just filled the entire room. And I looked out and made eye contact with this menacing 65-foot drop called the Leap of Faith. And it just hung there, perched above a canopy of swaying resort palms, like this Bahamian bird of prey just waiting to swoop down and eat this white boy for brunch. I did everything I could that day to stall my ascent up that tower. Hey, babe, it looks nice out. We should go check out the beach later. Okay, honey. Awesome, okay. We'll go down. Oh, you know what? I'm hungry after that swim in the ocean. I'm gonna eat a burger. Slowly. I'm gonna pound two pina coladas like it's my job. And then I finally got the nerve. You know what, babe? I have a little courage in me. Rum. I have a little courage in me. Let's go try these slides out. She says, babe. And the way she said this was so loving and so sweet. She just looked at me with those beautiful brown eyes and she said, you don't need to have courage. You need to have fun. And when she said that, it reminded me of this ancient teaching about 20 centuries old. Some of you probably heard this. It says, perfect love casts out fear. So I'm thinking, my wife said that so lovingly, I've got to respond in love and just go have fun with her on this adventure. So what did I do? I rode the snake. I rode the Challenger. I drifted over to the Power Tower. this looming, imminent structure in the middle of the resort. Sounds ominous. Let's go to the top. So we took 6 flights of stairs all the way up the top of this joker. When I reached the top of this thing, the view was amazing. The ocean on one side, the sprawling resort on the next. The sight took my breath away. Well, maybe I was about to faint because there was this group of locals behind me that were going on and on about how insane this slide is, that I was 5th in line to ride. They were saying things like, yeah man, this is the 3rd scariest slide in the world. It is number 3 scariest. Oh yeah? Well, you might want to go ahead of me because I'm about to go number 2 when you're number 3 slide. Yeah, as much as they like that, they weren't having it. You see, my wife had formed a cheerleading squad with these guys, and they went out patting on my back, in the back. Yeah, you got this, bro. You got this, man. Just go slide. You're going too loud, man. So I don't know if it was a testosterone or the fact that I knew these guys were going to push me down if I tried to go the other way. But I sat down at the mouth of this watery grave, sat down like I knew what I was doing, right? Crossed my legs, crossed my arms, leaned back, and yelled like Braveheart. I took this 50-foot vertical plunge and then settled into a 120-foot slide, racing through that thing, and all kinds of PG-13 words were coming out of my mouth. But my heart was yelling like Braveheart, freedom! I plunged into this man-made lagoon, and all around me are these little insets of aquariums, all these exotic fish. It's this really cool lagoon. I was just taken away by it, and I also looked at my body, and I was like, everything's here, and I was like, everything's working. Then I pumped my fist, and the attendant said, sorry, get out the way. So I moved to the back and waited for the screams and splash of my wife to come skipping across the water and land in my arms. Sort of. I pictured it that way. I don't know if it was that graceful, but we took each other by the hand and exited the tube up to the top of the resort, where she admits to me, I was really hoping you would have turned around. I was too scared to ride that 200-foot behemoth. That ride broke down later that day. Thankfully, not while I or my wife were on it. It broke down. And I had to then settle to riding that, remember the scary leap of faith, the one that looked like, the bird wanted to eat me? I had to settle to riding that 2 or 3 times a day for the rest of the trip to get my thrills. So some of you might be thinking, man, that's nothing. I ride the roller coasters, I do all these water slides, that's nothing. Well, I didn't just overcome my fear of water slides. What I overcame that day was an acceptance of a mediocre experience. And love came in and broke the walls down out of that prison of fear and sent me plunging into these refreshing depths of an adventure that I had never before known. Mr. Toastmaster.